collective energy reading. I am rising messages. All right, so the words that I heard as I was pulling for this spread is awakened, good fortune, partnered, and influence. All right, and for the Wheel of Fortune and drama free, I heard playfulness and alluring energy. So I feel like that is something about you that's emerging within you or has emerged and integrated. It's this energy of you flirting with life and no longer being tricked by the trickster. It's like you're mirroring others' energy and kind of just approaching life with this lightheartedness, not taking life too seriously, moving with your own narrative. I'm getting this approach of I'll be whoever you think I am in your story, but at the end of the day, I know who I am. That's the message that's coming through with this. Moving through life freely and, kind of just having fun with how it is that you create and how it is that you navigate through experiences with others in your connections and day to day routine. Take it as it resonates. All right, we got the Nine of Pentacles, and sometimes I need help. And I'm getting independence and established for you. You're someone who shows up for yourself and has learned to do a lot on your own. You could have a successful career or do well for yourself financially, but you make sure that you have your needs met. And life for you right now could be in a space where it's prosperous and fruitful, where the seeds that you have planted are being rewarded. You're reaping your harvest and things are growing around you. But there's this energy of you also healing from caretaker energy. Maybe once upon a time, on your journey, you were doing a lot for others. I'm getting like martyr energy here. Maybe you could be identified as the strong one in your family or the strong one in general, where people come to you a lot for help or assistance, and you were the one that received minimal support. Take it as it resonates. But there's this energy of you shifting out of that, recognizing your worth, and no longer being this people pleaser. You showing up for you and stepping more into a interdependent role instead of codependent. And you being the lead player in your reality. All right, we got the Ten of Swords and take care of yourself. And so I'm getting the words shut down. You may have gotten to a place where you had to shut down, where you closed out some sort of cycle in your life that you woke up to. There's a sense of you dealing with your fair share of drama and mental challenges, and now stepping into more of a season of recuperation and restoring your own lights, replenishing what it is that you were outsourcing for you. And there's this energy of you calling your power back from people, places, and things that didn't serve you and creating balance in your life. Taking a step back from life and lighting your own candle. Things like spiritual baths and going to get massages and just really pouring into yourself and making sure that your cup is full is the energy that's coming through here. Self-care, self-nurturing, and love. All right, so we got the Queen of Swords and Imagine. And you're someone who is mentally sharp and perceptive now. It's given that you now have become the witness. You don't partake in experiences that don't benefit you or intrude on your peace. And there's this approach you have now where you're creating life from a more detached perspective, where you can still have fun, and be imaginative and create, but you're more so moving from a place of no nonsense and discernment. So high frequency experiences is what you're calling in because you're holding yourself to a higher standard is what I'm getting. And at the bottom of the deck, we had the High Priestess, Judgment, and I'm not always an angel. Well, stop doing so much. All right, and I was getting a lot about going within, gaining wisdom. It's like people were challenging you to develop a stronger sense of emotional intelligence. And it's this energy of people doing things and expecting you to be okay with it. Things that you weren't pleased with coming in and out of your life and expecting you to still be there, because you were the strong one or you are the strong one. Kind of taking you for granted is what I'm getting. There's this energy of you choosing your own love and now being selective about what energies align to that, and how it is that you give love. But I feel like you started to recognize where it is that you have been overgiving and extending yourself. And now it's like you just got to the place where, you're no longer doing that. With this realization, you've put down your shields to partner and connect with other people, but you still have your sword in place to cut out the BS, if that makes sense. Where before you may have been shielding yourself and still getting hurt, there's this energy of you being war ready, because you now know how to fight and you now know what it is that you're up against, how to do what's best for you, how to own that, honor that, and move from that space. Take these messages as they resonate. Whatever doesn't resonate, leave behind. Like, comment, and share. If this did resonate, drop a yellow heart in the comment section. I appreciate you listening, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.